Hallo zusammen! Last but not least, I want to talk about my experience on day 3 at Rock am Ring 2019. Which bands did I see live and what do I think about their performances? You can also check out the other 2 vlogs about days 1 and 2 if you want to see some impressions and snippets of shows by Tool, Die Ärzte, 3 Days Grace, among others. Let's go! First of all, a little flashback to day 2. While we managed to see every band we really wanted to see live that day, it of course would also have been cool to see Slayer, Sabaton, the Dropkick Murphys or the Architects live if you ask me. I don't want to complain though, I'm very happy with our choices. If you have seen my 2 previous vlogs about Rock am Ring 2019 already, you might remember these scenes. Now I'm gonna show you the rest of this footage. On the way to areas A and B in the Boxengasse, the pit lane next to the big main stage, the Rock am Ring team has put up the respective lineups for each consecutive year Rock am Ring has taken place since the first one in 1985, a long time ago. And yes, that also means that next year's festival marks the 35th anniversary, so I'm pretty curious if there will be anything special going on. And by the way, we've already bought tickets for next year, even though no bands have been announced yet.
Ja, das stimmt. Das war doch echt geil. Das Objekt. Die waren ja, das war ja ein Jahr, aber alle war ja 2009 war auch länger, ne? Ja, und 2011 ja. Das war die beste Band der Welt. Die kann ich ziehen. Doch, weiß ich. Ich hab die 2004 bei
So on this third and final festival day we saw these bands live. A little bit of Atreyu, which I didn't really know too much from yet, but I liked what I heard. Definitely need to check them out more, so feel free to recommend songs or albums by them. The actual first full show we watched was Godsmack. This is another good example of a band I'm familiar with, but which I get the opportunity to check out even more at a festival. I generally like exploring both older and new music at a festival, or at a concert that is, so that's always great. And to me, a quality element of any musician is when they are capable of sounding great live too, and not just in the studio. And I can definitely say that Godsmack really seemed to enjoy playing live. The whole band expressed a real joy and strength playing their hits and new songs live, and we all really enjoyed their set. They've already been around for quite a while as well, and similar to other bands we saw live here, they know very well how to deliver a solid, fun show for everyone. Thumbs up! I was kind of prepared for the next band expectation-wise, but then again, I wasn't fully, to be honest. Amon Amarth are an institution when it comes to Scandinavian heavy music. They play a melodic form of death Viking metal, if you will, which you can't only hear but also see in clear detail. The stage design alone was really cool, and I can't help but would like to drink a few beers and whatnot with singer Johan Heck. Well, I guess and could see fit that he might seem a little, well, extremely intimidating, I don't know, when you don't know anything about him and when you just meet him in a park at night or something like that, I don't know. Anyway, he really seemed like a funny, likable guy on stage. He also interacted with the audience a lot, and the audience paid them respect by rocking out in circle pits and whatnot. And while I usually don't really listen to pure death metal, meaning only growling songs without any clean singing parts in them, I really like Amon Amarth. Similar to another Swedish band called Arch Enemy, which also played at the festival, although I didn't get to see them, and I quite like them as well. It's the melodic guitar licks that do the job for me in that regard. Just a great, extremely energetic and loud show. Thumbs up as well. Now, again, if you've seen my two previous vlogs about Rock am Ring 2019, you might remember that I wasn't really underwhelmed by any of the bands we saw live on days 1 and 2, which of course is great. And somehow it would be wrong to say that I was underwhelmed by the Boss Hoss, a German band playing some, well, Texanian southern US style of pop rock country music, a clash of that pretty much. They surely delivered a solid show for what they wanna play, but it's just not my cup of tea. So you might be wondering why I'm standing close to the stage even though I don't particularly like their music. That's because of the two follow-up acts, which I'm gonna talk about in a few seconds. The sound of the band was alright. They played quite a few covers of popular songs, for instance Hey Ya by Outkast. What I can say though is that they sure know how to address the audience, which I also liked. So for this last song they played, they invited around I think 15 women on stage and danced with them, which simply is a pretty cool fan service. Honestly though, I probably wouldn't have wanted to see them live in the first place if it weren't for the last two bands which followed later on. One of these two bands I'm talking about is the infamous Tenacious D. They probably served as the best and coolest contrast to the last band on the stage later on, And of course, Carl Gass, Jack Black and their band are absolute entertaining pros through and through. I think I really began to actively appreciate their work when they released their album Rise of the Phoenix in 2012. Before that, I was vaguely aware of them, but I didn't really find out about The Pick of Destiny when it was released in 2006, for instance, let alone their songs before that. Anyway, what can I say other than I really enjoyed their show? I mean, you know, it's hard to go to a Tenacious D show without having any kind of expectations if you know a little bit about the band at least. And I expected a fun little cool show, and that's totally what I got. Me and my friends even appeared on the big screens at some point. And yes, I look happy because I am. Maybe you can spot me and also get Germanized. Also, I would have loved to see the German musician Alligator live, but hey, can't help much if the Mighty D plays simultaneously. Sorry, maybe next time.
I got the power of 1,000 suns with the alien technology. Yeah, I'm the chosen one.
And now to the grand finale, the last band, the last headliner show at Rock am Ring 2019. I don't know about you guys, but there are a few things in life I have much respect for. Not to the point of being afraid of them, but huge respect simply. This show right here was one of those instances. After having seen an extremely powerful Stone Sour set at Rock am Ring 2018, now it was about time to step things up a little more. I guess not too many things can top the intensity and rawness of a Slipknot show these days. Corey Taylor is a quintessential singer in modern rock and metal music, and he has been among my all-time favorite vocalists ever since I first took notice of him when Before I Forget and Duality were released in 2004. It was also around this time, being like 13 years old at that point, that I actively started to check out heavy music, so both Slipknot and Stone Sour later on were huge influences on my musical taste. This show somehow came full circle for me personally, in a way. Also before the show, I actually met another friend from my hometown without knowing that he would be even there at Rock am Ring as well, so that was also very cool, and we both rocked out to many songs. But I can truly say that I haven't escalated nearly as hard and energetic as I did when they played Duality right there. What a time to be alive.
It goes like this. Da, 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 da. No. It goes like this. Da, 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 da.
So I want to see 85,000 of the craziest German fucking motherfuckers out here. Get down. Fucking go down. Lights. Now. We've been doing this for 19 years, and it is always fucking insane. Look at that crazy shit right there, man. Holy fuck. Stage. Thank you so fucking much for keeping this crazy shit alive here. You will never know how much we fucking appreciate it. Thank you so much. Don't you so much.
I can't stress how much I love being at a music festival like Rock am Ring. I was a bit hesitant prior to Rock am Ring 2018, my first ever festival experience, because I didn't know if I could enjoy this experience, but right on the very first day at Rock am Ring 2018 I fell in love with the whole camping atmosphere, whether it's getting to know like-minded music lovers at the campsite or the live shows themselves. This time it once again was a huge pleasure. And so I'd like to thank every one of you guys, every one of the organizers, the Rock am Ring team, the bands that played there, simply everyone who made this an incredible experience for me personally. Have you been to music festivals like this one? And which were your favorite shows there? Which bands would you love to see live? Also, if you want to learn more about what it's like camping at the campsite, which things you might want to consider, and generally what the experience is like at a music festival like this one, check out my buddy Germanized's new festival guide with lots of additional photos and impressions. Either way, thanks again, I'm your Vlog Dave, tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal. See you next year, Rock am Ring.